Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlan, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Mark Leibovit, editor and publisher of the Leibovit VR newsletters, also known as VRTrader.com. He was the #1 U.S. stock market timer in the January 2020 edition of Timer Digest. He's speaking to us from Arizona. Welcome back to the show, Mark.
Glad to be here, Jim. A lot warmer down here than up by where you're at. But,
yeah, Vancouver's
we're plugging through it.
Yeah, Vancouver's still waiting for summer to hit. You have a special offer for our listeners.
We do. For those of you who'd like to take a look at my newsletters, we've got quite a few newsletters that cover all kinds of subjects. A metal resource letter, which interests a lot of people, our cannabis newsletter, and our general market timing letter and so forth. They're all at VRTrader.com. That's Victor Robert, VRTrader.com. VR standing for volume reversal, which is one of my technical tools. And the promo code, when you go to the order page, is 2020 half off, 2020 HALFOFF. So that's how you sign up.
Mark, what's your overall market outlook right now?
I'm a little cautious, and have been actually for the last several weeks. I've been listening to the broadcast, but if you're in NASDAQ, it really doesn't make a difference because even today, on Thursday, when we're making this recording, we've got the Dow Industrials off 360 points and the S&P down about 18. They were at worse levels during the day, but NASDAQ is up 55 points. And a lot of the hot NASDAQ names, there's a bunch of them, continue to show forward progress, Amazon and Tesla, and we could just run down the list. So, it seems like the market is impervious to the sell may go away corrective forces or concern about the election outcome, which I am, and a cyclical forecast would say be careful this time of year. And certainly there have been some short sale opportunities, and we had a real choppy market here for traders. But NASDAQ is awfully resilient. We've got, of course, the Federal Reserve out there supporting the market supposedly, though there are some statistics saying they pulled back a little bit on pumping money into the system and held back here the last few weeks. But there's definitely a divergence, when you see the Dow and the S&P and the other major indexes, and then especially the Russell 2000, which represents 2,000 stocks, underperforming or not making new highs. That's a negative divergence when the only index moving higher is NASDAQ, and that's, weighted by a few big names, but not that many. You know what I mean? And you're talking, 5, 10, 15 stocks, seem to control that index, and, that's a warning sign based on market history, the way I know it. But, we've broken so many rules, Jim, we've got, even though I went bearish and late last year and got named the #1 timer, and I saw something coming. I didn't think it was going to be to the extent that we've had, and I still feel we're going to see another, shakeout, even a couple more this year. It doesn't mean that the powers that be can't reverse it or keep it held at a certain, support level and take it to new highs just to, color the roses red, so to speak, as they did in Alice in Wonderland, just make things appear better than they are, because on top of the virus situation and the poor economics that are resulting from the shutdown, the last thing I think the powers that be want is another stock market crash situation. So, there could be, a lot of that involved here as well, supporting the market, giving the illusion that things are a lot better, and maybe if they can fool enough people that things are better, maybe they will become better. You know what I mean? So keeping interest rates low, I guess, is part and parcel to that as well. But definitely big problems out there. They're masking it over. But hey, look how many times, at least in my lifetime, we've seen this, where it's supposedly the end of the world, and things turn around from the 1987 crash all the way through 9/11. I've seen it all. I thought I've seen it all. And even in the early 1970s, I mean, people thought it was another depression, recession coming, but for some reason, we're always able to pull our way out of it. So I guess at least, I'm trying to remain an optimist overall, but, just a cautious trader here. And if we can get a nice little shakeout and everything lines up, we would have even a better buying opportunity at some point here this summer. That's sort of where I'm at in terms of the major indexes that are not NASDAQ related. If the present pattern continues, we're just going to see more of the same. Strength in the NASDAQ stocks, a choppy Dow and S&P, and I just can't help but believe as we get closer and closer to the U.S. election, more anxiety is not going to inflict its toll on the markets, at least short term, because markets don't like uncertainty. So let's see what happens.
We'll have more with Mark Leibovit right after this.
Cypress Development Corp is developing a world-class lithium resource in the heart of Clayton Valley, Nevada. The size of the resource makes the Clayton Valley project a premier asset with the potential to impact the future of lithium supply. Cypress Development Corp trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol CYP, the OTCQB, symbol CYDVF, and on Frankfurt, symbol C1Z1. For more information, please visit our website, cypressdevelopmentcorp.com.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, Recycling Trade Publications. Patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mark Leibovit. Mark, is there any big difference between institutional investors and retail traders right now?
That's a good question. I really don't have statistics to back up an answer to that question, Jim. I know a lot of the movement in the market, supposedly here since the March 23rd low, has been attributed to the retail investor. I mean, this is what you hear and read. I can't prove this and verify it, that a lot of the people traders or individuals who are confined at home have been trading and investing in the market, and much of the rally that we've seen, particularly in the NASDAQ, high flyer names have been attributed to the small retail investor. And the same reports are saying, well, the institutional players got caught with their pants down, so to speak, and really didn't really anticipate the sell-off, nor really acted upon it when it came down. They just have their balanced portfolios, and they're doing their normal thing. So the volatility may have been attributed, at least to the grapevine stories we're hearing, that it was more of the smaller investor. A smaller investor doesn't mean somebody who's only got $100 in their pocket. I mean, smaller investors could have, 6-7 figure portfolios that are moving around too, but they don't have to have billions of dollars to move the market either. A bunch of those get together, and there's a lot of these platforms out there. There's an attribution to this platform called Robinhood, which you've probably heard of, where a lot of young traders have been getting in there doing a lot of speculative trading. So, again, the rumor mill, the anecdotal world says it was more, retail, small than institutional. That's the best answer I can give you.
Can you give us a bit more on your volume reversal indicator and where traders can get a hold of it?
The volume reversal indicator is something I came up with decades ago. It's a technical tool. It's sort of my main tool for trading. When I see a market come down or rally big and I see a reversal of volume off of a high or a low, this gives me a trading entry point. And, it's a unique indicator. It is trademarked, by the way, and we got it listed on two platforms. One is called MetaStock, META stock, and the other is a very big one known as TradeStation. And if you're a technical person and you look at charts during the day and you don't have my volume reversal, you're missing something. It is a great technical tool. It tells you when there's more buyers than sellers or sellers than buyers, gives you little reversal points. And in my experience with it over the years, it's about 75 to 80% accurate, and calling follow-through in the hours and days following a reversal of volume. So for traders, it's a great indicator, but it also can be used on weekly and monthly charts with some uncanny reliability. So it's based on the premise that volume precedes price, and I think that's an accepted adage right now. And most charts are based on price movement, but my volume chart, is based on shifts in volume. So it is called a VVR, and if you'd like to get on your platform, you'd have to be a subscriber to Metastock or TradeStation. Unfortunately, those are the only two platforms that offer it, and you just sign up for it, and it's called an add-on indicator, and once you pay for it, it just plugs on your screen, and it's just another tool that you could use as I use.
And perhaps for all of these rookie traders who have just gotten into the market since the COVID crisis, perhaps something they really need.
I think it would be really helpful to them because it's not complicated to use. It's very straightforward. People are sort of surprised when I do a presentation that, what my screen looks like. You just see these little red arrows or green arrows where the volume is coming in on the downside or the upside, and when you see it moving in that direction after the volume signal, it's pretty easy to convince people that volume precedes price, and you want to follow the momentum of what volume is telling you. So again, if you're trading oriented, I would say definitely take a look at it. If you're investment oriented, it could possibly give you an intermediate perspective, but I designed it more for a shorter term viewpoint for people that are more active in the markets.
We'll have more with Mark Leibovit right after this.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mark Leibovit. Mark, what market sectors or stocks are attracting your interest right now?
Right. It's been really interesting. The last week or so, I think we talked about this last week, the solar stocks really took off. And I don't know if this is because they're expecting a political change here in the U.S. where there's going to be more funding for solar energy, but some of the index, one particular ETF, it's called, it's an ETF for solar. The ticker symbol is TAN, T-A-N. I believe it hit a new bull market high today, and it just represents a whole basket of solar stocks. And there's a couple of these companies that are merging as well. But if you take a look at the charts, many of these solar stocks are still cheap compared to where they've been in recent years. So I would definitely take a look at any pullback. I think there's more coming in the solar area, and we've really been, trading and focusing in on that as well. And also been looking at some of the alternate energy plays, some of these stocks that are into fuel cells and all other alternate energy technology. There's a few names out there. We've had those on the list. We bought and sold them, but we're looking to repurchase those. And you had some of these new issues come out. We've talked about this before in the trucking industry that are employing new technology, and they're attracting a lot of investor interest. So a lot of this is environmental. Of course, the big name is Tesla. I guess that you consider that the biggest solar stock of it all, since they do own Solar City and they do so much with their automobiles. So, alternate energy and solar seem to be the big focus. And, really can't ignore the gold stocks and gold and silver. That, of course, has been a focus too here. There's been a lot of investor interest and cycles and the news background, supporting that market. Like anything else, you got to trade them, but it appears the trend is up, and on and off through this year into early next year, I think we should see higher prices. So those would be the two that are catching most of my attention at the moment. But a bunch of individual stocks, of course. But we can talk about a lot of names, in a future interview. But those are sort of the two hot ones here in the last week or two.
And before we go, Mark, your special offer again?
Yeah, sure. It's at vrtrader.com. That's Victor Robert Trader, vrtrader.com, and the promo code, which you enter on the order form, is 2020 half off. 2020 HALFOFF. Thank you, Jim.
Mark, thank you so much for being on the show. My guest has been Mark Leibovit, editor and publisher of the Leibovit VR newsletters, also known as vrtrader.com. If you have any questions for Mark or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. Our YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Find us on Twitter @HowStreet. We're also on Facebook. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.